and then I can use that link and share it.
दिख रहा है.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep. We're live on a new link. Well, that
Let's
failed pretty badly. Uh, 1 second.
share this link on that video. The link.
Yeah. Cool. Uh, is there anyone? I don't think there's anyone yet.
Let's see.
Hey, 3
Oh
people
yeah,
watching. Good.
yeah.
All right. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to episode 51 of the Discontent podcast. In this week's episode, we are going to discuss the two new films that are on Amazon Prime. Both of them are from south of the Vindhyas of this country. One of them is a Tamil film, which is Malik. Sorry, no. One of them is a Tamil film, which is Sarpatta. I will Sarpatta. I've been told is okay to call it Sarpatta, and the Malayalam film is Malik. But before we jump into the conversation, I have two reminders to give to our audience. First of all, to those of y'all who are listening to this podcast on Spotify or SoundCloud or Stitcher, you can continue to do that, but we would recommend that you come to YouTube and sort of join us on the discussion, and that would be a much better experience, I think, for the podcast, because we take questions and stuff like that. So a lot of things might be out of context because we're also doing this on video. Just a suggestion for you guys. Also, the other thing is we have sort of blocked entry to our discontent WhatsApp group. Now there were a few people still waiting in DMs, but we have decided, because we've reached a mark of over 50 people, and we want to be in a place where we can sort of have meaningful discussions and not have an overcrowded thing. Maybe some ways down in the future we might have a Discord server too. We're at 950 subscribers. We had promised some of our subscribers that at 1000 subscribers we will make a Discord server. So if we follow through on that promise, then we can have a Discord server which will basically can have all of y'all. That said, I want to begin. Himanshu, you look a little busy. What's up? क्या हो गया?
नहीं, मैं तो I was just trying to copy this new YouTube का link
हाँ.
and paste it onto that previous one, but अब ना previous one is not existent.
Of course it's not. What? So okay. So I'm Aditya Khanna. With me are Bharat Misra. Please say hello for the people in the audio.
Hello, hello.
Bharat, yes, and Himanshu Arya.
Hi guys.
Yeah. So so as you said, we're gonna discuss Malik and Sarpata. I just finished watching Sarpata, so it's like fresh off me. And man, what a film! Like, I really want to start off with Sarpata personally, but like, you guys tell me which one you guys
Yeah,
want to
let's
go
go
with.
with that because I think all three have liked the
Okay.
movie at least.
Yeah, yeah. I personally really enjoyed it. Like, I'm like very charged up after watching that film. Sarpata, for those of you all who are not familiar, we will. Are we doing spoilers for Sarpata, or do we need to?
Let's not do it. I would say let's not because not a lot of people have watched it, and that's what I think. Because if we are recommending it and if people want to go watch it after this, let's
Fair
keep it.
enough.
And it's not like we'll have to spoil it to actually talk about how good it is or whatever.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we will not do spoilers for Sarpata. So that's good news for all of
Sarpata
you.
का as such spoilers नहीं है, right? Because it's a sports drama and
It's a
but
sports
I
drama.
think
Yeah.
Malik has some basic spoilers.
Yes. Yes. Anish Das, thank you for subscribing, man. So yeah. Let's move on with to Sarpata. Sarpata, for those of you who don't know, is basically a sports film. It's by Paranjit. Paranjit is a very accomplished filmmaker. We actually had done an episode on his. I don't know if that was his previous film or his previous to previous film, which was Kala, featuring
Hmm.
Rajnikant. So, which I remember us enjoying quite a bit.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah,
fun
yeah.
film, and it was also very politically charged. This one is also politically charged, but in very many subtle ways, subtler ways than Kala, in which a literal
Kala.
hammer and sickle appears in front of the screen and forms together. So, this doesn't have that stuff, but essentially, this is a story of of a boxer, of somebody who wanted to do boxing. His mother insisted that he shouldn't do boxing, and it's based in 70s Tamil Nadu, basically when the emergency was going on. So a lot of it, I think, for me personally, this film was more. It was so much about the time, it was so much about that world around that. Like there were
Yeah.
subtle things in this film, like for example, during the boxing matches, like the first initial scene of the film is our protagonist trying to get in to watch this boxing match between these two prized clans, which are the most popular boxing
Yeah.
clans in that region. So that's the beginning of the film, and it starts. And what I found fascinating the most was the way that a lot of South Indian filmmakers, not all South Indian, but like mainly Tamil and Malayalam filmmakers, they're able to capture they're able to capture the essence of a time, or they make the world the story, and rather than like, as
Yeah.
opposed to the most direct comparison being a Tufan, right? Which, let's not even go there. But in a Sarpata, it's like the moment you enter the film, this is not going to be a one note, one dimensional thing.
Hmm.
It's about a lot of things at the same time. One of the saddest things for me was I really felt bad that I don't know the language, because the frames looked so beautiful, but because it was such a in the
Yeah.
especially in the beginning, it was such a fast paced scene.
So very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to constantly keep reading the subtitles. I had to rewind a few times just to make sure I got the dialogue right. And I would like sort of miss out on the frames and the shots and so that was one thing. Just my initial thoughts. I absolutely thought the film was wonderful. It's a wonderful sports film and even political film for that matter. Bharat, your views on Sarpata? Just opening out.
Yeah. I feel you like. I think I had the similar, observations about the universe and how these guys construct a universe rather than just like one single character. Obviously, it is a story of one guy and that character's struggle and whatnot. But primarily, it is about this time and this universe. And in that way, there are two films that come to my mind, both of which are South Indian films. Again, one is Tamil and one I think is Malayalam. So one film is Angamali Diaries, which I'm sure you guys have also watched, which
Yeah.
was very similar in the sense of chaos that it creates and the sense of universe building that it does, right?
Hmm.
And then another movie is called Adu Kalam. Okay, this will be a recommendation if you guys have not watched it.
Yeah.
But it's from Vetri Maran. Vetri Maran
Oh,
who made Visaranai.
of course.
It's his
Yeah.
earlier film, and it has Dhanush, and I think it won the national award. And it is about. I'll tell you how it is similar to this, because here also there is this unofficial boxing kind of setting. In that movie, it's about unofficial cockfighting. And
Oh.
oh yeah, and the whole movie is around these two warring sides who indulge in cockfighting. And Dhanush is one of the cockfights, and not like he owns one of
Hmm.
the most prized chicken, you know. So it's a very very interesting. These are like just thoughts that I had about how universe building is given primacy over characterization, and sort of in the first 20 minutes, as Aditya was saying, you're just
Yeah.
catching up with this world. And I found these throwaway lines and throwaway things very funny. For example, there's a drunk guy, okay, when the main character is being scolded by the mother for doing boxing,
Yeah.
and she says something like "I hate you" or something, and there's a drunk guy randomly is like, "But I love you." It was such a very nicely done. Even the side characters, like there's a
Oh,
character called Daddy.
Daddy was my favorite character in the whole film. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Even
And then, yeah, even Dancing Rose, a lot of people have taken
oh
a liking
man,
for that guy.
yeah,
That,
yeah,
that,
yeah,
that guy's an artist, you
yeah.
know?
We
So,
will come to this, but
yeah,
Himanshu, get to your opening remarks on the film.
yeah,
I really enjoyed this film because there is this movie. Have you guys seen it? Kung Fu Hustle.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys feel that there's a vibe with Sarpata, which is basically,
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
like एक तो थोड़ा the location and the surrounding is such that you don't expect hardcore professional boxing
Hmm.
happening there. Like if you don't know the background, like apparently I later found out that Madras ka the unofficial boxing scene was very crazy. And
Yeah.
you see the end credits, and you're like, "Acha, so it's based on this world, right?"
Yeah.
And when I was watching the movie, I was thinking that they've created these characters and they've given them these crazy hair do's and everything just to
Yeah.
bring out the time period. It's probably an over exaggeration or something, but when you see
Hmm.
the end credits, you figure out that this is actually not an over exaggeration.
This is
It's
how it
kind of
works.
toning down it's actually toning down.
Sorry, I didn't see the end credits because I literally just
Oh,
finished the film.
dude,
I
they're
didn't
good.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
They
Yeah.
have like photographs and news clippings of the actual 70s and the boxing, like, the scene. And it has these fantastical posters about these guys, and they're real. All of these
Hmm.
are like real posters and real clippings and real photographs, and it's very, very flamboyant, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like the filmmakers overdid that. It's actually a very true description of that. So yeah, very good movie, dude.
Right.
I think there was. I
Yeah.
mean, I have a
Really,
couple of
really enjoyable.
problems. I had a couple of problems with the movie, but we can come to that later whenever we are discussing that.
Hmm.
I'll tell you
Anish,
which scene I laughed out a lot.
huh?
Uh, After he gets married, and he goes into and this is completely fictional, right? This is not anything to do with. It's not anything to do with boxing.
Huh.
So when he goes, wedding ka first night or whatever is
स्पॉइलर
happening.
नहीं देने बोला था वैसे, but ठीक है.
ठीक है बोल
हाँ,
दे.
बोल दे.
This one is not a plot point.
हाँ, ठीक है.
So, we see the wife enters the room, and it's the first night of their marriage, and they're both acting shy for like all 2 seconds, and then and then she just bursts out dancing, and she dances for like 1 minute straight.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I thought it was really funny. Yeah.
Very
It was,
nice.
and I think these characters, even the wife's character, it's done well. Like it's not created, and like nobody is a plot point. Nobody is just
Hmm.
incidental. These are real characters. They have their own grace. They talk sensibly. Like the mother's character, I thought I really thought initially ki the mother's character is going to be like this throughout. Because if it was a Bollywood movie, this mother's character would have irritated the hell out of me. Okay, I wouldn't have watched. But then the mother's character later on, she changes very well, and then it
Hmm.
goes on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
By the way, this thing, Anish Das, I didn't watch the spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. I didn't watch the end credit. तो मैंने ये stream के लिए मैंने strategically 8 बजे film शुरू की. 8 नहीं, sorry. हाँ, 8 बजे film शुरू की और 3 घंटे थे मेरे पास कहीं देखने के लिए. और 3 घंटे लंबी film है यार, अच्छी
But वो
खासी लंबी
जाके
film है.
देख, मस्त है.
हाँ, I will watch MGR with Mohammed Ali. That's interesting. This
Yeah.
thing. So that coming to the side characters now, I had a point to make about this. I genuinely am rooting so hard for Tamil cinema and Malayalam cinema, especially because, in fact, actually Tamil cinema more so because they have such a unique style of their own. Like almost the entire, like if you watch like more, even the mainstream Tamil films and stuff, there is a very unique style that they bring to the table, which you don't get to see in other places. For example, that dancing rose sequence, right? I
Yeah.
mean, to have a character like that, pull that character off so well, it genuinely felt like I was watching anime. It looked like one of those characters from One Punch Man. It
Yeah,
genuinely
yeah,
did
yeah.
look like if those of you all who are One Punch Man, he reminded me of Puri Puri Prisoner. So, so it was such a fascinating thing to watch. So I genuinely believe like something like a Tamil cinema can potentially, if it keeps churning out brilliant cinema like this, or like Super Deluxe for that matter, it can go global very easily, I think, just like Japanese anime and these things have gone, because they do bring, I mean, the perspective is absolutely something that I feel like, and I know we do this like almost every episode now, but dude, Bollywood is so shit now, I'm sorry, but like it's so, they seem like hacks, no, compared to this stuff. I was just watching this, and like just to think that you watch a trailer of Tufan or any of the biggest Bollywood films in the past few years, I don't see any kind of matching thing over here. Do you guys
Hmm.
disagree, agree?
I agree. I think the world building reminded me of, again, maybe I'm unfair in saying this, but like a
Huh.
Tarantino, like how a Tarantino crafts these characters
Hmm.
and gives them their unique, like a Kill Bill, right? Kill Bill, every opponent that the bride kills
Hmm.
or kills in her way to Bill has their own weaknesses and uniquenesses, which he has to capitalize on.
Right.
And that's what I felt like when he had like a Dancing Rose, who has a
Hmm.
completely different style. And then Venmuli, or whoever the main character, I'm forgetting the name, Venmuli, he has a completely different style, and you can see it not just the way they're speaking about him, but also
Hmm.
when you see them fight. You see those techniques play out so well. So I felt that the level of the attention to detail and also the conviction to follow through with it visually.
Hmm.
डांसिंग रोज का तुम्हें दिखता है जब लोग बोलते हैं ना, he has the best footwork in all of North Chennai or something.
Right.
For once I thought हाँ ठीक है बोल दिया ठीक है, but you see it and it's crazy good. It's really good. I really enjoyed that
Yeah,
bit of the
like
movie.
I burst out laughing when he was doing like stunts on the stage. Like he was just like doing like flips and all that, like doing cartwheels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was quite fascinating. Hey, Anish Das has said Dancing Rose is inspired by Naseem Hamid. See Naseem's moves. So this is an
Oh,
interesting piece of trivia.
pretty
We'll check
cool.
that out. Thank you.
Thanks.
Um, मुझे एक वो character पर आना है, which was again Daddy.
Daddy.
That's another character, this is a
Baga.
guy. Baga. I was like, I was, and this is, people talk like this, okay? Like if you come across middle-aged South Indian people today, like my dad, for example, he grew up, he's not South Indian, but he grew up in a colony which was only with Tamilians and Malayali people. Basically, he grew up in that colony, so literally all his friends are South Indian. So, and I met a few of them, and there is a style to which they talk. Okay, like once they get comfortable and all that, this is how they speak, and
Yeah.
it was fascinating to see uh, a character like that there throughout. It was like a breath of fresh air in this entire film, because sports films otherwise can get very they do follow a pattern, they do follow a
Mm.
sort of plot pattern, which this one also kind of
Which
does.
this one also follows, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what it is. That's what the good thing is, right? It follows all the hero's journey wala point. वो tick करता है. But
Hey,
how it gets there is,
hold on, there's a very good friend of mine, it's a compulsion, which is also known as Sanjana, is here in the comments. Hello
oh,
from Berlin. Hi Sanjana, please reply to my messages because you haven't yet. So yes. But how are you? I hope you're good. uh so yeah, Himanshu, your thoughts, anything else on Sarpata?
Uh, so I read somewhere that the dialogues that are written for this film, they're written with the sensibilities of 1970. And because we don't understand Tamil, we of course would not understand those nuances, right? But
Hmm.
Daddy is that one character that we could relate to. And apparently, Daddy, the character, references these people who were, you know, always in touch with the Britishers or whatever. Those There were people who were,
Anglos. Yeah.
yeah. So the language which got passed down, and Madras being one of those, major ports for the British
Hmm.
era. So they have that kind of a, those people who do these, they have become kind of Anglo themselves. So that is what that was kind of referencing. So
Right. Right. I
I
I do
had
want to
a,
come to
hmm.
the, bol.
No, I had a couple of good like positives about the movie, which I think need to be
Yeah.
mentioned before I want to move on to my problems. I
Hmm.
think the good thing that it does is it doesn't create easy villains or easy heroes. So even the coach's son, who kind of sabotages in the middle and all of that,
Vetri.
Vetri, he's
Yeah.
also given an arc. He's also given a justification. And I think one of my favorite characters is his wife. You know, how every woman and every female character in the film has a voice and they make sure that it is heard.
Hmm.
And I really like that because usually a lot of these side characters are used as templates and which we know from watching Bollywood, right? So either it's the supporting wife or it's the nagging wife. It's never a real wife, you know. So that is something that I found very interesting. I found that Waitrey's wife also stood by her husband, but she called out his shit also. And
Right.
every character is like that. The mother, the wife, the coach's wife, the coach's daughter-in-law, everybody. I felt that that was very good. And even a character like Dancing Rose or Venmuli, they're very, very human characters. In the end,
Yeah.
for example, yeah, when this guy loses,
Spoiler
the
alert. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, spoiler alert. When this guy loses, he doesn't say that, uh, there is a point to make where he says that, you fought well and you lost with honor.
Hmm.
So I really like that. Again, it brings me back to
Yeah.
Tarantino and Kill Bill, where
I-
he's like, these guys live and die by a code of honor, and
right.
that's there.
That's
So yeah,
that reminded me, one of my favorite moments in the film was exactly like similar to that, which was Wembuli. I forget, I'm very bad with character names. Wembuli, the antagonist boxer, essentially. He he sort of has this moment, right, and during the first big fight with the with what's this dude's name? What's the protagonist's name? One second.
Kabilan.
Caliban, Kabilan.
Kabilan. So he is about to lose, and then he sort of signals to that gangster and tells him to basically disrupt the fight. And in that moment, like the guilt that you can see on his face, that he doesn't want to do it, but he also has his
Yeah,
pride. And
yeah,
that was one of my. And immediately after that fight is done, Rose comes up to him and says that you're a piece of shit. You call
yeah,
yourself a
yeah,
boxer.
yeah,
Fuck you. Like it was such a great moment for me. Like again, that's what it doesn't make easy villains. It doesn't make easy heroes as well. Especially, oh, one thing I do want to mention. One of my favorite montages was in this film. Not the training montage towards the end, but the spiral
yeah.
montage. Oh
Yeah,
my
fuck,
god, that was
amazing.
brilliance. That was perhaps my favorite moment of filmmaking in the film, easily. Like just in terms of it, dude, because so many times we've seen like either rising up the ranks wale montage, yeah, spiraling down wale montages, but they're not this good normally. They're very,
Hmm.
this felt like I could feel that this guy is becoming an alcoholic, and how that would
Hmm.
feel like your. It felt to me like this man's life has just moved past.
Yeah.
Within a few moments, he has lost himself. And that was something that was absolutely great. I
And
thought that was a
it
brilliant moment.
also, I think the, I think he uses the montage smartly because a lot of
Hmm.
people who fall into that pit of addiction, be it anything,
Right,
be it drugs or whatever, they describe to it like time passing by like this. You know,
right.
you don't realize when it's gone. When these months have just gone. So that was very interestingly shown, and I really like that.
I'll
Really,
tell
really
you
like
what,
that.
I have a theory for that montage. Uh, I feel that see the film is 2 hour 30 minutes long. Okay, it's quite long.
2 hour 50 minute.
2 hour 45, 50 minutes.
Uh,
So it's interesting. The movie is really well made, but they really had to, jump past that point because that training montage after that is also a big montage, right? It's coming up
hmm.
and कितना दो montage थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो सकता है, right? You guys know that.
Hmm.
The, actually that is
We
my
know that.
one criticism. हाँ, हम लोग को मालूम है montage कैसा है. ये थोड़ा inside joke है, sorry, हम लोग बाद में बताएंगे क्या है इसका reason. But sorry. Yeah. Fuck, that really threw me off. But I love, the best part is nobody knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, so anyway, but that is one of my criticisms of the film, which is the montage towards the end. I did not dig it, and the whole thing of going to the old coach. I thought
Same.
that was a bit of a Chelam sir moment. Like that was a
Yeah.
slightly
It
like
was random.
एंड किसी ने बोला भी है कमेंट्स में. आई एम सॉरी, मैं आपका नाम देखा नहीं मैंने, बट हाँ सॉरी, ओमकार ने कहा है एंड में हीरो फाइट के लिए ट्रेन कोई और करता है, फाइट के बाद क्रेडिट कोई और लेता है, व्हिच आई आल्सो थॉट वाज अ लिटिल फनी कि वेयर इज दैट गाय, वेयर ही इज स्टिल
या
एट द
या
बीच,
एंड वो क्या उसका कैरेक्टर इतना रैंडम था कि वो मतलब वेट करता है बस बाय द सी ही इज जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर पीपल टू कम एंड ही ट्रेन्स देम रैंडमली
या.
And
इट वाज
I'll tell you what, even Malik does this. They romanticize the
अरे
ocean, right?
मलिक पे तो आएंगे. मलिक पे तो मेरे को बहुत सारे कमेंट्स हैं मेरे, बट इससे पहले अच्छी चीजों के बारे में, पहले थोड़ा पॉजिटिविटी लाते दुनिया में.
बट मतलब
हाँ.
यही दिस वाज माय बिग not big, but like a minor problem with the
Yeah,
movie कि
but
यार वो बड़ा ही convenient after that spiral down ना
hmm,
they went with a very simple
true.
sort of कि हाँ अब हो गया.
But I will forgive that because one ending a film is a different art form. I personally believe like ending a good film, especially a film that has really built you up a lot, ending it is another game. Like I feel like it's another film itself because it's so you've got to wrap up so many things, especially as vast as this, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but sorry, what was I saying? I forget. Anyway,
But
doesn't
the
matter.
end, but the ending itself, if we want to talk about it, the rap is.
Huh.
But you have not,
Yes.
Aditya, you've not seen the whole rap because
I've
the
not seen
rap,
the end credits. Yeah.
the credits play off only on the entire rap,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's like Tamil and English rap, and the English rap is very very fast, dude. It's like, and it is talking about the same themes like how Kendrick Lamar or these kind of rappers
Hmm.
rap about. It was very good, and I think a lot of people have commented also about the rap,
Oh yeah, the
and
music. That's another
music
thing,
was
and
amazing.
this will be contrasting for me at least with Malik also, which is that the music in this film, especially in the first hour or 2 hours, in fact, was it never felt overwhelming. It was always there.
Hmm.
It was ever present, but it never felt overwhelming, which I did so in Malik. But anyhow, तो ये सब मेरे थोड़े बहुत पॉइंट्स है
whether
सरपटा
he
के बारे में.
whether he
Yeah.
mentioned one point that she was confused about how much time actually passed between the coach going to jail and then coming out. And I think it's
True.
1 year
Yeah, I think it's around a year or something. A
because the
year and a half.
son looks like the
Yeah.
daughter is like exactly 1 year old
Hmm.
big. So
And
वो बॉडी सूट थोड़ा ना अनकन्विंसिंग लगा था टू बी ऑनेस्ट. वो लग रहा था बॉडी सूट
वो
क्योंकि
बॉडी सूट ना. हाँ.
yeah.
हाँ इट
अरे तो
वाजंट
he's not
मूविंग
gonna,
लाइक अ
of
पॉन्च.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
He won't, that body, he's not gonna lose it for that one montage, right? That body,
And
But
by
I
the way,
mean,
beat.
this
I
might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but frankly, I would rather have somebody not chisel out their body or grind their body up and down for a film and make that the marketing this thing of a film like Tufan. I would rather have the like the story be as like
I
much
get
better,
it.
right? Yeah.
What I'm saying is, but what if it's showing that it's fake? I mean,
Uh.
I have a paunch, okay, and I know how it behaves, and that's not how paunches behave on screen.
Our
So
lives are
that
just
was
the
my problem.
spiral montage of this film. Our lives are just that. We don't know when the moments are going by and our stomachs keep increasing. So yeah,
That's true.
हम लोग का redemption arc नहीं आता कभी. हमका हमारा खाली वही problem है. But
We are all asking our moms to climb back into
climb back.
into their wombs.
Oh,
Uh,
ah. But that was that another thing. I really liked how they played on the fact that this guy is like Kabilan. He's also a bit of a crybaby, with
yeah,
his mom or with his wife. Like he immediately just start crying and groveling to them, right? I don't know if that was
yeah,
played for humor because I know a couple of instances it was, but apart from that, it just felt like very. I liked this grayshness of a character, like this thing of he's so dependent on these people, and he's not somebody who's very independent, right? Like he's either he is totally surrendered to the coach, or he's totally surrendered to his wife, or he's totally surrendered to his friend, Vetri.
yeah.
So he's always in this thing of depending on somebody or
Depending.
the other. Hmm.
I'll tell you
One of the
something.
very good. Sorry, go for it.
नहीं तो बोल.
Wow.
अरे बोलना यार, तू वैसे भी कम बोलता
ये
है.
पहले आप क्या हो रहा है इधर एराज बाय द वे कुछ कह रहा है I really didn't like half hour or so in Sarpata where they show Kabilan's downfall. Thoda hurried and melodramatic laga thoughts. Eras, you've joined late today because we just talking about that montage was like I think at least my favorite part of the film, like the way the montage was executed at least. The
Post
spiral
that
and
was when I thought that
post
was
that is where the problems start appearing in the film, but I was just so taken in. I was so invested in these characters. ना मेरे को उतना कुछ
hmm,
फर्क नहीं पड़ा. सरपटा पे और thoughts. We should probably talk about the caste politics also in it, right? Which is actually a very major theme in all of Paranjit's films, as I believe I've been told,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
in
And
this
he's
one
I
as
think
well.
he also places like in one shot at least.
Hmm.
In at least one shot I saw that he kept like B.R. Ambedkar very
Oh
prominently.
yeah, I could see Periyar also in one shot.
Periyar, all of these guys.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
it's very much like, sorry, it's a running theme in Paranjeet's movies, which is that when the hero wins, it's a win of the people, of the masses.
hmm.
And he does that very, very prominently with Kala. But even here, he does that. When this guy wins, everybody wins.
That,
Even, yeah, there's an element of community victory, and obviously it's tied to caste because
hmm.
this clan, Sarpatta clan, is shown as, and there are, by the way, hints of them being talked down to because of their caste. So it is not very prominent. It's not very in your face, but it's there.
The only time it was very in your face was when that gangster Thiang, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
bad with names, but that gangster, he tells him that you come and clean the carcass of my cow when she dies.
yeah,
That's what, which is a
correct,
caste
correct, correct.
thing, right?
And also
So
they showed, sorry, one more thing. They showed solidarity between the marginalized. So there
yeah, yeah,
assimilation of the Christians, of the Muslims. So one of the key fighters of the Sarpata clan is a Muslim.
Miran, yeah.
Yeah, and this guy, our hero. So yeah, and
Oh,
थोड़ा
that
मजदूर united भी है.
that
मतलब this
yeah.
guy's a मजदूर.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that coach ka character was also very interesting. I also thought it was really funny. Every time there's a pundit that keeps walking around with the coach, and every time he opens his mouth, he's told to shut the fuck
shut
up.
up,
And that was my
shut
favorite.
up.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, most of the time anybody says
huh.
anything in front of him, he's like, shut up.
Yeah, he's like shut the and I love how everyone. I like that they captured this thing. Like at least in my head, or I'm sure on all of us, there is an um image of the 70s and the 80s. There is a जैसे बॉलीवुड फिल्म में जब भी वो लोग पीरियड फिल्म बनाते हैं वो लोग ट्राई करते हैं ना बेल बॉटम्स पहना देंगे या वो सब चीजें करने की कोशिश करते हैं बट दे डोंट रियली गेट द टॉकिंग एसेंस एंड इसमें इतना
Yeah,
रिएक्टिव है ना immediate and because I'm guessing they would be inspired by cinema of that time as well so it's like their immediate reaction is I kill you like like I remember at the end when the coach where's the Chuck the India moment ho raha hota your coach tells this guy to get up right to get up so
yeah,
when he tells him to get up, he's like I slap you is the last thing he said like, it's such a it's such
yeah,
a old uncle thing to say na
yeah.
I'll give you one whack baga like it's it's just too funny I just want to watch like a montage of daddy scenes man that was really cool I just thought as a character he was such a wholesome character
Yeah.
somebody who's so watchable great actor but acting was great all around I thought I did not find a single
Yeah. I
out
I
think
of
wish
I,
I wish we could have watched this movie in the theater.
yeah
yeah,
absolutely this is such a theater film and this
yeah,
is this is interesting with Paranjit even Kala was a very I love how this guy manages to get his politics to the front while keeping the aesthetics of a mainstream film and improves upon it right he
yeah.
tweaks it to his own stand
And he stays true to mainstream. It's not like these
yes
are art movies. These are very, very
absolutely
massy
not
films,
yeah
which is crazy, which is
yeah
great.
yeah I love that part of it as well and there was one more thing that I had to say about this but anyway I think we should move on to
Yeah.
Malik now unless you guys have something to say um no
No,
okay
that's all.
by the way I just want to give a quick apology last in the chill stream last time I said a lot of shit about some motivational YouTubers और मैंने एक दो के वीडियो देखे सो मैंने श्वेताब गंगवार और इस सब के बारे में काफी कुछ बोल दिया था बट द थिंग इज सो एंड भरत ने भी कह दिया था कि all these people are incels and all I don't think these guys are incels okay so when like I saw some of their I saw this Shwetab's thing something yesterday and I was like okay this is he's not as toxic maybe I was a little mean
I
to
agree.
this
No,
guy
I
yeah
see. I also talked about that. कि ये लोग,
हाँ
मैं नहीं कह रहा हर चीज जो बोलते हैं वो बूक बोलते हैं.
हाँ
It is just that,
it's too
and that is
basic
what.
I think what
No,
we meant to say was it's too basic right
see, the thing is, that is when it becomes insidious. You say a lot of good things.
hmm.
You get people to follow you on the basic, general goodness. Ki be wake up on time. Do this. You can't refute these things. But along with that, the underlying message is in my opinion, quite problematic. But yeah, fuck it. Wait, this is not the
Anyway,
point.
so we won't. I just want to give a quick apology that I'm taking back. We're not calling them incels or anything, in case anyone will ever get mad at us for that. So yeah. Oh yeah, the one thing I wanted to say about this, that's why I like the Muhammad Ali references every now and then sprinkled here and there, because as you were saying, it's a win for the people, which is exactly what Muhammad Ali stood for, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
his remarkable the stand against Vietnam War and all of that. So I mean, the Muhammad Ali. That's why in the beginning also they said keep inspiring us and all that. So,
One point I had to make: there was one similar moment between this movie and Mukkabaz, which by the way I also like. Mukkabaz I really like as a movie and as a boxing movie also, but this betters it in my opinion. But there is one point of similarity where the wife has a problem with the character, with our hero only focusing on boxing and not focusing at home. And that is a very similar note
hmm,
as to how in Mukkabaz the wife has a problem. And the way I really liked how in Mukkabaz they try to show the domesticity coupled with his fighting, you know.
hmm,
And here also it's showed that this guy at one point says, "Listen, I'm not gonna go to whoever is calling me. I'm going to," and he's literally feeding his wife, you know. In a very
yeah,
similar way, if you remember in Mukkabaz, that's a very nice touch which I liked was that he learns sign language, and there's a
yeah.
whole struggle shown where he's taking those classes and he's falling asleep in classes also because he's so busy with the boxing montage. So I really like that, and I think it's a
Hmm.
similar point. So yeah,
Good point. I will. Let's move on. Unless Amangshu, you have something to say
Now
on
let's talk
Sarpata.
about
Anything?
Malik now.
Yeah. So Sarpata, overall, we liked it. Omkar Kelkar has started off our discussion on Malik. He says, first start with Malik's 13-minute uncut shot. And I have a bit of a hot take, which is it's a great shot. It's very, very well done and executed, but it's also the high point of the film. So with that, I'll give it over to either Himanshu. Himanshu, तू शुरू कर. तुझे कैसी लगी फिल्म? क्योंकि
it's
मुझे तो
also the only it's also the only part of the movie I've seen. Sorry,
भरत कर दिया ना तूने भी आज. हाँ चलो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं.
मैं
बट
चुप रहूंगा इसमें. हाँ,
ठीक है.
I
I
love the
uh,
13
disagree.
minutes, guys. It's
थोड़ी
amazing.
तो मर्यादा रखिए. हाँ. हिमांशु.
I disagree with you. I think Malik has its points. I'm not
Hmm.
saying it's. I know what you're talking about. Okay, Malik isn't probably the most interesting or the most fun movie to watch.
Not
Like,
Kino. Not Kino enough.
Not cinema.
Not cinema
wow,
enough. Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं है. I think
हिमांशु ऐसे दिल पे ले लिया. ऐसा नहीं है यार. ऐसे ऐसे क्यों कह रहा है?
अच्छा
नहीं,
अच्छा
because
बोलना है
when I
हिमांशु
was
बोल
बोलने
बोल
पहले.
दे
watching
बोल दे.
it, I really
हाँ.
liked it. Okay, when I was watching it, I got into the story. Like, मुझे थोड़ा सा I felt that it was a little long because I didn't because at points now they're doing this non-linear thing, right, with Malik. By the end, it's getting a bit some things happen and then we go forward in time and then we come back in time and then we see it from another perspective. I thought वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा था. We didn't need it. At least I didn't like. It was understood. Like the tension that they were building up by the end. Anybody who's followed the story heard every dialogue already knows what's gonna happen. So we know his
हम्म.
spoiler दे रहे हैं क्या?
बोल दे यार, अभी हो गया, मालिक को
हाँ
आए हुए
स्पॉइलर.
टाइम हो गया.
स्पॉइलर दे रहे
हम्म.
हैं मालिक के लिए.
Yeah, we know his son is about going to die somewhere. We know it from the first 13 minutes
फर्स्ट
जो
सीन
uncut है ना
ओनली या.
उसी में पता चलेगा. So in the end, if we haven't seen it, I understand that we're gonna see it right later on. If so, when we see that Malik is now suddenly this guy who's killing off his own friends and targeting his own people, and what leads to it, like now the main question is why did he send hitmen for his own friend. I knew that it
हम्म.
was because of his son's demise and it was very obvious, but wo point na then they drag it out for like 20 minutes. So I thought that was something I did, but I'll tell you what I really like: the uncut 13 minutes, right? The opening scene and even the ending is the ending last scene is an uncut long take.
हम्म.
Do you remember that? I really liked those. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it did bring together the film, and I liked the acting. Fawad Fasil.
Okay. So I'll just start off on what my problem is. By the way, Sanjana is ripping into me saying, "Oh, Kino," which is thank you, Sanjana, but reply to my goddamn messages. But anyway, so this I'll have to edit out of the audio podcast because I have no idea. But my problem with Malik essentially, and this one Anish Das kind of sums it up for me also. Malik is inspired by Nayakan, is inspired by The Godfather. So, which is, I mean, man, if you're in 2021 and I'm expecting a lot more from a Fahad Fazil film or Mahesh Narayanan. I've not seen his other films. I think. What other film has Mahesh Narayanan made?
See you
Are you
soon
guys familiar?
and one more. See you soon देखी है मैंने.
Oh yeah, Susan and हाँ. So
I
I just
yeah.
thought कि as a मतलब ये बंदा गॉड सुपर गॉडफादर है, ठीक है, ये इसके दिल में कुछ है ही नहीं. मतलब take a character and make him so completely pure that there is nothing. He doesn't wish harm upon a single soul. मतलब even towards the end when they try to show his graying, like he has his Ganesh Gaitonde moment in this thing, right? When after his son is dead, he wants to kill him. But at that point, I'm like, okay, they killed his son. Fine. Like it becomes very justified in that sense. So I think at no point do you feel there is any gray in this character. There's nothing wrong with this guy. He's just a benevolent god. He's a benevolent fucking gift from God who is here to solve all your problems. So I just thought that part of it was really bizarre. I can't for the life of me understand why they went for such a purist Godfather, which is a problem I have with the Godfather as well, actually. Which is why I consider Goodfellas to be a much more superior gangster film, because it shows, man, these guys, there's nothing honor, there's no court. They're here to make money. If they can't make money, they will kill you if you stand in their way. And that's about it. Right? And that's the game.
But Godfather को वो allowed है, I think, because it started. It
Yeah,
brought the
that's what.
idea of honor into the Godfather
Yeah.
gangster movie.
But I think over here, when you do this came off matlab, almost entirely like that Once Upon a Time Mumbai. Because कितना मेरे को अजय देवगन का और मेरे को उसकी वो सिंगर जो भी उसने गाना गाया है वो सारे मूवी में, उसकी आवाज मेरे को आ रही थी पीछे, क्योंकि ये मतलब ये ऐसा अपना रुमाल लेके चल रहा है, and he's doing this whole thing. He's a man of his people, of his community. He will argue against his community also if need arises. I mean, is there nothing wrong with this guy? Is there nothing? And you're showing every other character in the movie is flawed. Okay, everybody else in this movie has some ulterior something. Everybody is an asshole. This guy is amazing. Fahad Fazil, best human being. So that was my
How does he get to be
mental
a gangster?
problem.
Do they show that? इतना अच्छा प्यारा आदमी को gangster कैसे
Hmm.
बनना?
Yeah. I'll tell you what my idea of this film, what I thought they were going for, and where exactly the problem lies with the narrative. So I don't think Fahad Fasil ka character Suleiman Malik is not the lead character of the movie. He's supposed to be somebody uh, whom the lead character is supposed to kill. The lead character is David's son, and
Right.
the film is being narrated
To him.
So we were supposed to follow that character. At least that's what, because I find that character more interesting, because he is a young kid who he uh, blasted a bomb in his own school, right?
Yeah.
So and there's a very cool scene about how he gets caught. He's riding a bike, and then it skids and it goes towards a group of policemen, and that's how he finds him. And while he's going, and we follow his story very well, and I really wanted to see it more from his perspective, but this narrative is getting lost, because half the time it was about, a first person perspective from Suleiman's character, and then half the time it's like acha ab narration ho raha hai, so we are watching him from some third person perspective, and there is some confusion there in the writing. Did you think that?
By the way, I have to leave in 5 minutes for something. So and then I'll come back after 5 minutes if you guys want to carry on the discussion even beyond that, or तुम लोग किसी और चीज की बात कर सकते हो. So I'll just give some of my points out this one. But first I want to address a few comments which are where the Randall says, I think, by the way, those of y'all who have not seen that yet or heard that yet, check out our episode with Edehi, where we discuss Sherni and Newton. Bharat, तू सो रहा है क्या? क्योंकि तेरी
सुन
तेरी
रहा हूँ.
आंख बंद हो रही थी.
नहीं
Okay,
नहीं सुन रहा हूँ सुन
so
रहा हूँ.
whether he has said, I think Indian movies end up doing that with most heroes. You don't have a concept of heroes having flaws. I agree, but agree that one may have different expectations from Malayalam film. I wouldn't say it's because of it's a Malayalam film, and
It's
I have one short way of pissing off all South Indians immediately. This film was exactly like a Bollywood film, guys. This was exactly like a
yeah.
Bollywood film.
No,
It
and
felt no different, you
I
know.
kind of disagree with Vaidehi here because I
Hmm.
feel we're in 2021. Even in Bollywood, we are
Yeah.
used to seeing flawed characters, flawed movies with flawed characters. I'm not saying great movies also, but
Hmm.
even random movies now have embraced the idea of a flawed hero, right?
Right.
Gangs of Wasipur is a great example. I mean, the characters are fucking losers. The main
Yeah.
heroes are losers, you know. So
Exactly.
it's I don't buy this idea that it's traditionally done like this. So this we're in 2021. We need to sort of get
And
with the program.
I also thought, like, I understood from one perspective that the religion aspect of it, right? The religion aspect, because there is a Christian community over there is a Muslim community over there, and the state tries to the relationship of these minority communities with the state, and how the state tries to cause rifts and cause issues between these communities for their own benefit, right? Now they have shown that, but at pretty much every step of the road, I felt like, oh, so there is nothing. I mean, there has to be something inherently wrong within any community for any majority community to exploit, right? That's what I'm saying. So in this, it's as if there is nothing is wrong, and you have invented these sort of issues, but the fault lines exist, and I don't think the film does a very good job of showing these fault lines. It sort of really it's a very patronizing film, I think, when it comes to these issues. It's very simplistic and reductive, I thought, when it was showing these kind of things कि यहाँ पे जाके दंगे करा दो और ऐसे ऐसे करवा दो, which
Hmm.
again it reminded me of a Bollywood film. There's nothing wrong with that idea, and I agree that the state does that, but
And
I think it needs to be done a lot better, you know.
I remember. Sorry, I remember. I
Hmm.
whatever little I saw, there was one scene where these police people and everybody
हाँ.
is sitting around the table, and one guy says, "तो दंगे करवा देते ना?" And I'm like, "ये क्या प्रकाश झा कहाँ आ गया? Hi प्रकाश झा. Real ID से आ प्रकाश झा."
Real IDs. By the way, ever since we started shitting, ever since I said that this was like a Bollywood film, this Malayalam film was like a Bollywood film, our viewers have reduced from 22 to 18. So that is always a good sign. But yeah, please like the stream also and subscribe to us, I guess. By the way, just another reminder, we're at 954 subscribers, guys. Help us reach 1,000 and we'll feel much better about ourselves. So yeah, that will be a good thing. Or kya? Malik, you know, the Himanshu, the other thing, that device that you're saying, the narrative device of the film, which is कि इसके भांजे को narrate किया जा रहा है ये सब चीजें, and then he's sort of is told to assassinate the Malik, Ali ka. Okay, so I was like, the entire time that this kid I knew is not going to kill Fahad Fazil. Okay, I'm sorry, he's not doing it. Okay, so from the get go, so there was no tension for me. There was no at no point did I feel like this is going to happen by this guy. All right, perhaps there were two shocking moments. One was where that bomb blast happens. जब ये वो बस से निकल रहा है, पुलिस के वैन से निकल रहा है और उसके वो बंदे bomb blast happens. And when the last scene, which is massive spoiler alert, where the Bharat to कान बंद कर ले अपने, तो which is where the doctor basically strangles Fahad Fazil, right? Which I don't think she needed to do because he was dying anyway. So point being, yeah, Bharat, you're good. So yeah, I just couldn't get behind the film at all, except for they started off so well on that first opening scene, and I thought they will go into like the weird underbelly, but this guy is an environmentalist also. He fights for women's rights also. He fights for the land of the people also. He is a man of a. Matlab what? He's a gangster. No, I mean there has to be some level of criminality involved, no? And there
Yeah.
is, always. So I just didn't understand. Um, Yeah,
By the way, it's
what
Malik.
mm, Malik is the correct pronunciation. So sorry, Malik, not Malik Saab. So yeah, uh, Terence Malik. Sorry. Uh,
Himanshu, do you have anything to say? Because I
Anything to say?
have not
क्योंकि
watched.
कुछ
So
अभी कुछ अगर ज्यादा नहीं है क्योंकि मुझे वैसे भी अभी निकलना है. So unless I will decide if we should come back or we should just end
No,
the
I
stream.
I think we can end the stream right now.
guys, एक
Okay.
बार recommendations दे दो यार.
Yes. So rather succinct episode today. Not much to say. One film that I did not enjoy, Mangshu enjoyed, Malik, and Sarpatta, which the three of us enjoyed a lot. Highly recommend if you haven't seen Sarpatta, please go watch it. And tell us. Actually, you know what? Please, guys, also comment in the comment section that what you guys would like us to review. You know, if you want us to do like older films, if you want us to do some new film that's about to come out, please tell us that also, because we are sort of lost in the woods on this whole content business. That's one. Two, as I said in the beginning, those of y'all who are listening on SoundCloud or Spotify, the audio episodes of the podcast, you can continue to do so and we'll continue to upload the episodes. But we would highly recommend you come to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and watch it live, and where you can comment as well, and it's all fun and we can interact. The other thing is that we have another reminder, we have blocked entry to our discontent WhatsApp group as of this moment. We are over 50 people on the WhatsApp group and we have a lot of interesting conversations, but we don't want the group to get overloaded as of right now. So in the future, if we reach 1,000 subscribers, I had said before that we will consider getting a Discord server. So if we can get to 1,000 subscribers with your shares and likes and all of those good things, then we will do that, and then all of you all can join and we can all have fun and rant about movies and just be man children in that sense. So मैं अपनी रिकमेंडेशन देके जा रहा हूँ जल्दी से. तो
जी
मेरी
जी जी.
रिकमेंडेशन एक्चुअली खाली एक चीज है. मैंने आई सॉ द फोर्थ सीजन एंड द फाइनल, मतलब फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द फाइनल सीजन ऑफ Attack on Titan, and I am absolutely obsessed. I have finished all the episodes that you could watch so far, and I'm just completely blown away. I just absolutely love that show right now. I'm considering getting a tattoo of like just
What?
becoming a full anime weeb and getting an Attack on Titan tattoo. Like it's such a great show, man. I don't know. You guys have to watch this, okay? Please, you guys. I know you guys will judge me, but you guys have to watch this show, please.
नहीं मैं तो
I
ठीक
know
है.
it's
देखूंगा.
like super popular and all, but yeah. हाँ, जल्दी रिकमेंडेशन दे दो, फिर जाके स्ट्रीम भी तो एंड करनी है. हाँ.
मेरा
Okay,
एक
I'll recommend a thing.
go for it. Go for it.
A true crime documentary came out on Netflix. I saw it few days back, and it's very beautiful to look at.
Hmm.
It's called Sophie, a murder.
So
Wait, let me just
I
find
watched this, the
a
French
murder
one,
in
right?
Moscow. Yeah. It's a very beautiful looking true crime documentary. Very soothing for some reason. So yeah, you can check it out. Yeah, that's
It's
it.
very fascinating also. Huh? The case is unsolved as of now. I mean, it is solved but not solved. It's
भारत तेरी
very.
रिकमेंडेशन दे फटाफट पट.
यार एक recommendation है, मेरा एक YouTube चैनल है जो मैंने discover किया है, which is not very big. It's called Collative Learning. Okay, Collative Learning. And what it does is it has a mixture of conspiracy theories, but he backs it up
Hmm.
like facts. Okay, and it has a like very weird eclectic mix of conspiracy theories, science fiction, and alien related conspiracy theories based on movies. For example, one
Hmm.
of the latest videos is called "What Does Tantric Yoga Have to Do with Eyes Wide Shut?" and it talks about the tantric yoga references in Eyes Wide Shut. So please definitely go to Collative Learning. Anyway,
So the three recommendations are Attack on Titan, Sophie on Netflix, which is a true crime documentary, and Collative Learning, which is a YouTube channel. Sorry, I have to rush. And thank you guys for watching. Please like the stream and subscribe to the Discontent YouTube channel. We'll be back soon with another episode. And